welcome to World Cashew Convention and Exhibition 2018, and we have Mr. David with us from Napsol. Hello Mr. David, how are you?
I'm fine, and you?
So he has come all the way from Switzerland. So David, tell me about your company Napsol.
So Napsol was incorporated 10 years ago by Mr. Dieter Kundig, who is actually one of the senior managers. He used to be one of the senior managers of the Beulah Group, which is one of the main equipment company in the world. Together with Dr. Cameron Iverson, they created Napsol. And today, after 10 years, we can say that Napsol is the main player in the pasteurization equipment in the low moisture food industry. Whether we're talking about tree nuts, seeds, spices, herbs. We're very proud today to be part of your convention and to have the opportunity to introduce our technology to the cashew processes. And I think that our technology is a valuable operation that should be in place in your industry. Of course, because we have the most gentle way of processing and pasteurizing the cashews. And of course, because we do have enough reference in the world to reassure whatever doubts you would have about the technology.
Great. So you had already a presentation. You were amongst the speaker here inside in WCCE. So what was the topic about? What did you do? What was it all about? Can you just brief about the concept?
Absolutely. We had a very short time frame. We had to present the technology in about 5 minutes. I wanted to pass on the most important figures regarding first pasteurization, natural pasteurization, and how our technology fits totally in this target.
Okay.
So after showing a quick video of one of our largest units in California, Poindexter nut, which is the main processor of walnuts, his system pasteurizes about 6 metric tons of walnuts per hour. Our process is fully organic, which is added value in the industry, especially for processors that might want to go into fully organic products. Afterwards, I wanted to differentiate ourselves from the other technologies on the market, whether they use steam or infrared or heat, or whatever source of heat or oxidants, chemicals. As I said before, we are fully organic. 1. 2, we don't use steam, we use saturated steam. Saturated steam has a very efficient way of distributing heat and has a very high capacity of latent heat.
Correct.
So by condensing on the product, it gives you a kill, a 5-log kill, up to 6 or 7 if you need, without deteriorating, damaging your product. So in the case of cashews, you have no color change, you have no moisture pickup, you don't have any split. The product doesn't move, it sits in bins throughout the process. So the product sits in bins compared to our system, continuous system, where you keep shaking the product all the way. You have splits, you have color change, you don't have homogeneous pasteurization. Our system is totally different from that, and that's when we stand out from the crowd.
Great. So we had heard about this thermal pasteurization, which you were right now talking about. Was it all about the thermal pasteurization right now you were talking right now?
Yes, we talk about thermal pasteurization, but as I explained during the presentation, we go very low in temperature.
Okay.
We go in a partial vacuum. Most of the system that you will see around use ambient pressure. So the steam is wet and you're at 1 bar pressure. So because the steam is wet, you wet the product. You increase the moisture and you need a drying process afterwards, which you don't have in our case, because we use a saturated steam for a very short period of time at very low temperature. So which gives, as I said, the kill step without the moisture, without the change of the product.
Okay, great. So how does it enhance the quality of the cashews in terms of that?
Well, absolutely good question. The most important thing, and we are working on it with one of the major players in the hazelnut industry, is that our process increases the shelf life of your nut. So compared to other systems which go very high in temperature, damage the cells and decrease the volatile oil, of course you have an oxidation effect. the same case with the chemicals. So you have oxidation. In our case, we do deactivate the enzyme responsible of oxidation without damaging the product. So you keep your volatile oil. So you do have an enhancement of the shelf life. It's different for every kind of nuts, but we can say that at least we don't reduce the shelf life, which most of the other systems do.
So how do you do with the process of loading of the beans, and how do you prevent the damages which can be caused during loading and unloading? So how do you do that?
So it's a very nice question. The video I showed was for walnuts and for cashews. And as I can say, I didn't have enough time to show you other videos of how we load in a more gentle way. We have developed together with a German customer, which is actually, can't say the name, but probably the biggest retailer in Europe, a way of loading with a spiral piping, where you load gently the nuts into the bin. The bin is nearly at the beginning touching the spiral pipe and then slowly going down while it's filling the bin. So it's a very gentle way of loading the bins. And then we use a bin tipper. We tip the bin out at the end of the process. So we can say that we have also a very gentle way of loading and unloading the product.
So to prevent all the maximum
Absolutely.
damages, and you preserve all the cashews intact in terms of kernels,
Absolutely,
right?
no split, and that's very important because our process, as we always claim, is without any movement. The tree nuts sits in the bin all the way. So we don't want to damage this by loading it wrongly or unloading it wrongly. So that's the way that we developed it, and we're doing a very great job, I guess.
How was your experience in WCCE 2018?
So I like the fact that people interact with all these lunch networking and dinner and the coffee breaks. People chat and are very easy talking and exchanging information. It's my first time. It will definitely not be my last time. I had very great contacts, very great people over here. So I'm looking forward to next year.